Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West. And today we're going to be talking Kanye and Tucker Carlson. I know we're all kind of exhausted from politics. Like, whatever side you're on, 2020 was just, whew. So it's been nice, I think, for a lot of people to not be as engaged with political drama, especially the election year political drama, and for Kanye fans, like not having Kanye political drama. So I'm not going to dive too deeply into the political aspects of this, but I did think that this was kind of a interesting closure on some of the topics. So you may remember that in the middle of last year, leading up to the election, Carlson did like a 7 or 8 minute segment on Kanye. And it was meaningful in the sense that Tucker Carlson is one of the most popular television hosts, or has his shows like a #1 rated show on TV, arguably one of the most popular shows going right now. So for him to spend like 7 minutes talking about Kanye was kind of a big deal in terms of Kanye being such an outsider to the presidential process, and that Tucker was so glowing about Kanye, which was controversial in and of itself, right? Because you had people on both the left and right that weren't happy about Kanye running. And it felt like you had regular people that weren't happy about it. And then all the media entities weren't happy about it either. So on both sides, you had people being critical of Kanye for different reasons. And to have Carlson kind of come in and be like, no, Kanye has some great things going on. He has some great thoughts, and kind of diving in and taking Kanye more serious. It was just a nice and unexpected change of pace, especially because Carlson is known as such a ardent supporter and explainer of everything that Trump was doing. For him to kind of come out for someone like Kanye and support what Kanye was doing seemed a little surprising, but it did feed into the whole discussion that Kanye is only a spoiler candidate, and you have conservatives that are pumping him up in order to steal votes from Biden, which on this channel, if you followed any of the coverage we were doing at the time, we explained why a lot of that point of view was really flawed and skewed, and that the more likely scenario is just Kanye really did want to run for president, had ideas and had money to try to make it happen, and he was hiring people that were conservatives, much like himself these days, that had worked on previous presidential campaigns. So you had people being like, oh, this woman that had worked on the Trump campaign just dropped ballots off for Kanye. What's going on? She just worked for a law firm that specialized in elections, and she had done a single lawsuit for Trump a year or two before, but wasn't an active lawyer on Trump's campaign or anything. So there are just all these details when you looked into it that it wasn't quite as big of a thing, especially the Forbes articles too, saying like Kanye confirms running for a spoiler candidate. Like, that was over the top as well and didn't hold up to any inspection. So, but when Carlson's praising Kanye like that, going on for 5-7 minutes and doing all this acclaim, you had people that viewed it as nothing more than that. So like, they're trying to pump him up as this alternative to Trump. So even if people aren't going to vote for Trump, let's not have them vote for Biden. Let's have them vote for Kanye. But then here, all these months later, it turns out that Carlson just voted for Kanye. It turns out that he just liked Kanye's stances and positions, and you can feel a way about that. I'm sure there are going to be people that think like, well, that's not a good thing, which I don't completely disagree that if Kanye's policies are enticing someone like Tucker Carlson, who's such a lightning rod because of his views, what's that say about Kanye's policies? And you can see that Carlson down here talked a little bit about it on core conservative issues, not political issues like legislation before the Congress, but on foundational questions about life and children and what happens when you die. No one with a national platform has been more honest or sincere or effective than Kanye West has been. And this article here gets into more of it. At this moment, the most compelling voice is not a Republican. The most widely heard Christian evangelist in America is not ordained. Instead, he is a rapper married to a Kardashian, who, by the way, everyone says is crazy. Yeah, the headline is that on core conservative issues, that's where he said it. And then no one with a national platform has been more honest or sincere or effective than Kanye West has been, maybe in generations. It's all pretty shocking, really. Talk about an unlikely messenger, but it's real. Check out West's Twitter feed if you haven't seen it. Not everything he says is conservative, far from it. Not everything he says is even intelligible, but when West talks about his faith and about the gift of human life, you start to ask yourself, why aren't there any elected Republicans who sound like that? So the information that Carlson voted for Kanye comes from two sources. I guess Tucker told guests on the show that he had voted for West, and somebody else said prior to the election, Carlson said he would vote for West. He and Kanye get along. They both regularly find themselves in the crosshairs. Yeah, that's for sure. And Politico actually went so far as to, because Kanye wasn't on the ballot in Florida where Carlson lives, so there's no way that Carlson could have officially voted for Kanye, which meant he would have had to write in Kanye's name. So Politico talked to the voting area where Carlson went, and they were like, oh yeah, we do remember seeing some write-ins for Kanye. So maybe one of those were Carlson, or maybe it's just something that he's telling people and didn't vote at all. He said in the past that he just never votes in elections, which is kind of crazy for one of the most popular political pundits to come out and say that he just never votes, which, okay. And then the other thing that kind of jumped out to me here was right here. Where is it? Carlson and West have a friendly but not necessarily close relationship. The two men have spoken from time to time, and Carlson even spent some time in Wyoming with West shortly before the election. And that's not something I ever remember seeing. Like, we saw a lot of other people out in Wyoming between that July and November period, but I don't remember ever hearing about or seeing that Tucker Carlson was out there. So West Sub Ever sleuths, what are you doing? What planes are you following? How did you not catch this? But it seems there are still some secrets in Wyoming that we are not privy to. And that's kind of it for the article. Just kind of interesting to find out that Carlson, of all people, ended up voting for Kanye. Yeah, and so if you're enjoying the channel, the easiest way to support us is to like, subscribe, comment, or watch time. All of those things really help with the analytics and the algorithm and just making sure that YouTube shows the channel to other people. We also have our podcast, Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, where we go line by line, track by track, album by album through Kanye's discography, showing the narratives, themes, motifs, deeper meanings. You can listen to any episode, and you'll probably have moments where you're like, I think that's a stretch. We don't reach, we stretch. But there's going to be something in every episode that blows your mind and convinces you or changes how you listen to the song for the rest of the time that you listen to Kanye. So we just did our Say You Will episode featuring Cole Kushner from Dissect. It's really cool. Cole plays piano in the episode, showing some of the production elements of Say You Will. So we have that. We also have a new channel that we're slowly building up called My Favorite Thing, that's going to be getting into movies, TV shows, albums, books, everything else, kind of some bite-sized content, and trying to monetize. We need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So a tenth of the way to the subscribers and a long way to go for the watch hours. So if you can throw any support over to there, that would be amazingly helpful. And we have our movie analysis website where we explain movie endings and themes and all of that. You can see the movies that we have here, really long form pieces, like 5,000, 6,000 words, one's 11,000 words. But you can see we have just a ton of movies on here, and we're going to be adding to it in bulk over the second half of the year. So that's it for this video. Until next time, stay wavy and, please keep it loopy. Cheers.